Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talks with Jinesh. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to fill out a temporary resident visa. If you watched my last video, I speak about how I applied for my work permit, and now I just recently received my work permit. Now I've had to go ahead and fill out a temporary resident visa, which will allow me to go back to my home country and come back without any issues. Your temporary resident visa or TRV will be useful to you when you enter into Canada. When you come here and you have your study permit or work permit, they will only let you study or work in Canada. They do not authorize entry into the country. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through all the steps of how to fill out your TRV form, your application, what documents you need, everything we're going to go through. Without further ado, you're watching Talks with Jinesh. Let's get started. So what documents would you need to fill out your application? Firstly, you're going to have to fill out your form, the application form, which is IMM 5257. The link is in the description. And shortly after speaking about the documents, we'll go ahead and fill out the form in the computer together. After that, you are going to need a digital photo. There are certain requirements for the photo of how it should be. You should have only up to a certain level and things like that. So there will be a link in the description for that as well. Check that out. And then you're going to need a passport. Obviously a digital copy of your passport. Initially a digital copy is fine, but later on they are going to request your passport so that they can stamp your visa and send it back to you. A TRV from within Canada can only be applied if you have a valid work permit or study permit. So the next piece of document that you are going to need is a digital copy of your work permit, which you will have to upload onto the portal of IRCC. And you will need a credit card to pay your application fee. As of right now, the application fee is 100 Canadian dollars, and a credit card or debit card is fine to make the payment. That's it for your requirements. I only received my work permit recently and immediately submitted my application for my visa. The processing time for your visa typically takes around 10 days. However, with what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, when I was applying the processing time online applications, it was 160 days, which is totally insane. And for paper applications, it was 30 days. So naturally, I put my application in paper and so that I get it quicker. And only yesterday, I received my passport submission request. And right now, the processing times have reduced again, which is great. For online applications, I believe it is taking about 20 days. And for paper applications, it's taking about 15 to 18 days. Moving on, let's head over to my computer and we'll go ahead and fill out the application form together. Okay, so here we are. Search IRCC login and then sign into your IRCC account. Sign in with GC key and then enter your username and password. Sign in, skip, continue, and now you will see your list of applications here. Recently only I got my work permit application approved, and then submitted my temporary resident visa application, and fast forward, I also got the visa application approved after quite some time. I did it on paper and later on linked it to my online portal, so that I get any passport request submission, I get that instantly via email instead of having to wait and receive it by mail or by post. So to start your TRV application, click apply to come to Canada, and then you want to select visitor visa, study and or work permit. What would you like to do in Canada? You want to work here. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? More than 6 months. Select the code that matches your passport. So we are going to select our code. India. What is your country, current country or territory of residence? So if you're living in Canada currently, you want to enter Canada. Then do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident? No. What is your date of birth? You can enter your date of birth. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States? No. Worker is, what is the immigration status? If it's a worker, then you say worker. If it's a student, then you say student. And now, does any of these apply to you? For me, it was all no. You can read all this. It says, I am subject of a removal order that is unforeseeable. I applied for a work permit before entering Canada, which was approved but not issued. So all these are edge cases. You can either say yes or no, but most likely it is going to be no. And then, have you been told by an Immigration, Refugees, Citizenship Canada office that you have been approved in principle for permanent residence Canada? Not yet. Have you received a PR application in Canada? Have you submitted one? No. And then, do you have a written job offer? Depending on yes or no. What if you have it, yes. If you don't have it, no. Do you have a valid employer-specific work permit and are being abused, or there is risk of being abused in relation to your job in Canada? Does this situation apply to you? What is your marital status? Single. What is your province of destination? Now, if you are applying this from within Canada, then you can select the province that you are living in. If visiting multiple provinces, select the one in which you'll be spending most of your time. So, if you're living in Ontario, you select Ontario. Now, based on the questionnaire that you answered, you have been recommended to apply for a temporary resident visa. We go ahead and continue. Continue. Which of the following best describes your situation? So at this point, you should have a work permit, and if it's open, it's best. Otherwise, if it's closed, then it's employer specific. But if you have a study permit, you click that. And then if you have a study permit for a specific institution, you can select that. But in our case, it's open work permit. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? No. And then, have you lived in a designated country or territory for more than 6 months in the last year? No. So this is if you've stayed in Canada in the last year, then you say no for this. If you have moved out of Canada and you've stayed out of Canada for more than 6 months in any place, then you say yes, and then they'll ask you to enter what place and stuff. Now, do you want to work in one of the following jobs? These are mostly healthcare related. Now, I'm a software developer, so I said no. But if you are in any of the, like if you're in medicine or nurse or any of the healthcare related jobs or teaching jobs and stuff, then you can say yes to this. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? No. Are you giving someone else access to your application? This is mainly if you are hiring a lawyer to submit your application, or if you're hiring an agency to submit your application, then you can say yes. Otherwise, if you're doing it by yourself, like in my case, no. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints and photo biometrics for an application? Yes. Now, if you've come here recently, say in 2018 onwards, then you would likely have given your fingerprints. In that case, you will say yes. If not, you'll have to give your fingerprints and photos separately. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fees, or are you exempt? Yes, I will be paying my application fee. Are you able to make a digital copy of your document with a scanner? Use Cam Scanner. Cam Scanner is best. I use that all the time. Will you be paying your application fees online? To pay online, you can use a credit card. Yes. Continue. Next. And then this is just review your answers and stuff, and you hit continue, and then you go ahead and hit continue again. Now you've been given the form, the IMM 5257. We are going to take this form and fill it out, and then you'll have to attach your work permit or study permit. You'll also need to upload a digital copy of your passport and a photo. There are certain requirements. The links for them are in the description. Now, then you'd have, these are optional. I did not really touch this section here. And then the fees for this is $100 Canadian. And now what we're going to do is download this form and fill it out line by line, so you know exactly what you need to do to get your temporary resident visa approved. Now this form here says that application for visitor visa made outside of Canada, but this is the same form that you will use even if you are within Canada. If you go to the website of canada.ca, and then over here you see it says that you may be given the option to extend your current study or work permit or to apply for a TRV. Make sure to select TRV, and then the application form listed in your document checklist will be called application for visitor visa, temporary resident visa made outside of Canada. This is the form you will need to fill out even when you apply from inside Canada. So this is the right form, and this is the form that you should see on your portal as well. Okay, so here is the application for visitor visa form. Let's go ahead and fill it out. First, we have the UCI, should be available on your work permit, top right hand corner. For now, we will use dummy data 45678. I want service in English. Visa requested would be visitor visa. Family name, this should be the same as it appears on your passport. Let's use my favorite actor's name, Shah Rukh Khan. If you have used other nicknames, maiden names, aliases anywhere on any of the legal documents, then you should enter that as well. I have not, so I'm just going to say no. This is going to be male. Date of birth was 1965 1102 and should be New Delhi. It should be India. Citizenship would be India. Country, current country of residence, it's India for Shah Rukh Khan, but you're likely going to be applying from within Canada, then it is going to be Canada for you. Status, Shah Rukh Khan would be a worker right now because you just received a work permit from, so this date would be the date that you received your work permit up until the date that it expires. So let's just put in any date here, 0825 0250825. Previous countries or territory of residence. During the past 5 years, have you lived in any country or territory other than your country of citizenship for more than 6 months? It's going to be no. And then we're going to go down to point number 9. Country or territory where you are applying, same as country or territory of residence. This is going to be yes because we are applying for Canada and we are applying from Canada. So your current marital status, known as single. And then have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? No. Languages you speak, Hindi. Are you able to communicate in English? Yes. Have you taken a test from a designated testing agency to assess your proficiency in English? This would be your IELTS paper, and you can say yes for that. Your passport number, that is what you're going to enter here. R0 RO562356. Country of issue is going to be India. Issue date is going to be 2015 08 014. And if you have 10 years, then you can just do 2025 08 014. For this trip, will you use a passport issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Taiwan? Nope, nope. All that is blanked out. Do you have a national identity document? Yes, I do. It could be a driving license, it could be a passport, it could be anything. So I'm just going to enter my driving license. Or you can enter yours. Put dummy data there. Country or territory of issue. This would be Canada. And then issue date. Let's put any date there. "5 years. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States? Nope. I wish. Yes. Now apartment number, that is going to be 14. Street number, let's just put anything. Street name, dummy street. City, Toronto. Canada. Postal province is going to be Ontario. Postal code, you can enter anything. Same as residential address, same as mailing address. Yes. Now remember, this is the address that they are going to send you your documents back. So this has to be the address that you have access to. Telephone number, this would be cellular.
4. And you can leave these blank. I left mine blank. Purpose of my visit. This is going to be returning worker. How long you plan to stay. So this is the date that right from today when you're filling it out or when you're going to submit, from that day up until 3 years from then. Just an estimate is fine. So 2022 0917, 2025 0917. And then name and address or relationship of any person, institution you are going to visit. So if you're going to work, then you can enter those details here. In my case, I already had my job and everything, so I knew exactly what I'm going to enter. If you have a job, then you can just enter the employer's details. So for this form, we'll just enter Amazon, relationship to me, employer, address in Canada, enter Amazon's address. And then education. Have you had any post-secondary education? Yes. Now from, this is going to be the date that your classes started. Field of study, let's just say communications. Your field of study you will enter here. Your school name you will enter here. Let's just say Sheridan. 2 is going to be the date when your classes ended for that particular degree or diploma. 2022. Let's just say the program was 2 years. And then city, Toronto, country, Canada, province, Ontario. Employment, all now here you will enter every single employment that you have ever worked. I have done several jobs in Canada, so obviously these 1, 2, and 3 was not sufficient for me. So if you've done more than 3 jobs, you would have to write down all the jobs that you've done on a piece of paper and fill out all of these fields and attach it as an optional document in your IRCC portal. So from, let's just say this person, Shah Rukh Khan, got his job on the 5th month, and then what's his job? Let's say movie maker, company name, Red Chilies. 2 you can leave blank, is likely going to be forever. City, let's say he's doing it in Toronto. Country, it's in Canada. Province, Ontario. I'm going to leave these all blank, but if you've done more jobs, then you can just fill it out. Within the past 2 years, have you or a family member ever had tuberculosis? Nope. Do you have any physical or mental disorder? Nope. Have you ever remained beyond the validity of a status? I hope you never said yes to any of these here, otherwise you'll be in trouble. Have you ever been refused a visa or permit, denied entry? Nope. And for this you will have to say yes. Have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? Here you should have at least 2 answers. One should be applied for study permit to enter Canada on or in 2019, and other one should be applied for work permit to remain in Canada and work applied for your work permit in 2022. So that should be your answer there. Have you ever committed or been arrested? Blah 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 blah. Nope. Did you serve in military? Nope. Are you or have you been a member of associated? No. Have you witnessed any ill treatment of civilians? No. Now you enter yes over here. Do you consent to be contacted by the CIC? Yep. Signature of your applicant, Shah Rukh Khan, dated 2022 0917. Now the most important part, you're going to have to validate your document to make sure if there are any errors, just as this one question I missed out here. Funds available for my stay. If you just come out of school and you have like say $6,000-7,000 is good. You can roughly show $10,000. You need to also attach bank statements and stuff to prove that you have the funds that you state over here. Validation completed successfully. If you are applying on paper, then you would have to print this out and post it. But if you are just going to apply online, then you're fine. This is how it should look.
Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you get your visa stamped in your passport and returned to you as soon as possible. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, share this with your friends and family, give this video a huge thumbs up, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll talk to you later. Take care.